On behalf of the faculty and administration of McIntosh High School, Mr. Jason Myers, Ms. Chris Boyd, and Mr. Dan Lane, as principal of McIntosh High School, it is a privilege to welcome you to the 2012 commencement exercises. I first recognize our distinguished guests, Fayette County School Board members, Mrs. Marion Key and Mrs. Janet Smola. Bennettsville Middle School Principal, Ray Presley King, and Booth Middle School Principal, Mr. Ted Lombard. And McIntosh High School Teacher of the Year, Bob Peterson. Graduation is a time-honored tradition designed to recognize and applaud the efforts of young people for having successfully completed all of the requirements for a high school diploma. It is our sincere desire to properly honor each student with a traditional and dignified ceremony that reflects the principal foundations of American society, education. Tonight marks a milestone in our graduates' lives. We ask for your support in respecting the dignity and decorum of this ceremony. Please refrain from creating disturbances that may interfere with hearing the announcement of students' names. Our last graduate is as important as our first graduate. Please remain seated until every graduate receives a diploma. The words of Abraham Lincoln have never been truer than they are today. A child is a person who is going to carry on what you have started. He is going to sit where you are sitting, and when you are gone, attend to those things that you think are important. You may adopt all the policies you please, but how they will be carried out depends on him. He will assume control of your cities, states, and nations. He is going to move in and take over your churches, schools, universities, and corporations. All your books are going to be judged by him, praised by him, or condemned by him. The fate of humanity is in his hands. Teach him well. As teachers and learners, we aspire to fulfill Lincoln's words. Thank you to our guests for your commitment and support of the education we provide at McIntosh High School. Family and friends, please rise for the entrance of the McIntosh High School faculty in class of 2012.
Yeah, you can tell her so far. They're right there. Look. Charity! You can tell by her.
Here they are.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jackie Rochelle, and tonight I have the honor of introducing to you the class of 2012 salutatorian. Many of you know her by her accomplishments and recognitions. An active member of numerous honor societies, the recipient of several prestigious scholarships, and a 4-year varsity basketball cheerleader, she has worked diligently to earn her rank and reputation. In addition, our salutatorian is deeply involved in many activities outside of school, including spending time at her church, working at Banana Republic, and volunteering at a local thrift store. Her ability to spread her talent so generously throughout the community has clearly impacted all those in contact with her. While her many achievements demonstrate how wonderful she clearly is, her personality never ceases to amaze me. As one of the kindest people in our school, she jumps at the opportunity to help anyone. She's always smiling, and I know her future will be just as bright as her smile as she attends Georgia Tech in the fall. I can't think of anyone more deserving of the salutatorian title. Again, it is my honor to introduce to you the salutatorian of the McIntosh class of 2012, Amy Thornburg.
Thank you, Jackie. After 13 years of school, at least 24 high school classes, and countless tests, research papers, and projects, we've made. Our hard work has paid off, and today we will receive that single sheet of paper that reflects our educational achievements. This paper symbolizes something unique to each of us. Whether it's the pride of passing certain challenging classes, the life lessons learned from teachers and mentors, or the friendships made with our peers, we each have our personal memories. These memories and experiences define us. They determine how we will respond to future events. Our journeys began with the support of our parents and our families. They drove us to our soccer games and to our birthday parties. They helped us with our homework, and they taught us to live respectfully and purposefully. Mentors and teachers inspired us and challenged us to discover who we are and what motivates our actions. All that we are today is the sum of the love, time, and encouragement poured into our lives by these invaluable people. Take a look around you. Each person on this field has plans for his or her future. Some are heading out to serve our country. Others have jobs or vocational schools lined up. Many of us are headed off into the college world for an undergraduate, graduate, or even a doctoral degree. I can't tell you who will reach their goals, who will save the world, or who will fall short. Only God knows the future. But I do know that our future will be affected by the experiences we have shared here at McIntosh, and our futures will be defined by what we remember. At Honors Night 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of watching many members of our class receive honors, awards, and scholarships for the hard work they have accomplished. There are few greater joys than seeing friends rewarded locally, regionally, and even nationally for their achievements. That night is a night that I will remember forever. But sadly, as we leave high school, many of our memories will fade. My question to you, class of 2012, is what will you remember? Will you remember your successes or your failures, your state rings or your losing records, your friends or your enemies, your regrets or your honors? Will you remember the taste of victory as we defeated Stars Mill? Will you remember dressing up for prom at opera? Will you remember the story behind the name on the back of your senior shirt? Will you remember the joy of giving back with the Relay for Life bake sales? Or will you remember the tragedies that we have shared, that have brought us together as a class and developed our characters? Personally, I will remember writing cowboy poetry in my 9th grade English class, and the never-ending laughter at my 10th grade lunch table. I will also remember the jokes from my 11th grade U.S. history class and planning a fundraiser this past year. But most of all, I will remember the times that we have spent together, growing up both in and outside of these walls, and the invaluable friendships that I have made. This day has been a long time coming. So much time and effort has gone into bringing us to this place, this stage, this handshake with the spine. But today will last only for a moment. Before we know it, graduation will be over, and the long summer before college will be upon us. But what matters is not just that we have made it to this place, but that we take what we have learned here and translate it to our futures. So, class of 2012, what will you remember? Thank you and God bless.
Good evening, graduates, family, and friends. My name is Peachtree, and I have the pleasure of introducing the valedictorian of the McIntosh class of 2012. Ever since I met her for the first time, nearly 5 years ago, I have witnessed her intellect in action as our paths repeatedly crossed in numerous activities during high school. Almost too many to seem like a coincidence. Her academic reputation is widely known among students and teachers, and I'm certain her legacy will remain even if she has gone to college. I've heard people joke about naming her children after her, and others see her as exuding some aura of awe like a mythical being. But certainly, we know that is not one of the narwhal, as she has proven to all that narwhals are real. Her stellar record of achievement has been recognized, as she is a National Merit Finalist, the McIntosh Star Student, and also the Fayette County Star Student. She is a member of National Honor Society, National English and Spanish Honor Society, and Beta Club. As if that was not enough, she has been selected for the Governor's Honors Program in Mathematics, where I saw her stand out among students from across Georgia. However, if I only mention her academic attributes, you will miss an entire side of her. Her kindness benefits her peers and community. She heads the peer tutoring program at McIntosh, and last summer, I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip to Honduras with her, where she simply spends time having fun with little kids. Many students respect her because we can relate with her. The one thing she loves most is napping. You can often spot her napping outside on sunny days during meal lunch. Her dedication to herself, others, and life is apparent. I wish her the best in the fall and onwards when she attends the University of Chicago. I have no doubt that she will continue to succeed regardless of where she goes, and we will recognize her when her endeavors make headline news. So here's to someone I proudly call a friend, our valedictorian of the class of 2012, Karen Anderson.
Thank you, Yuta. I've been asked for months now, are you excited to give your speech? And indeed I have been, since today, May 25th, 2 weeks after the date of Douglas Adams' death, is Towel Day, a celebration of the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have. So obviously today is a very special day. I was, however, recently informed that today also marks our graduation, so I scrapped the plans of using the speech to glorify the myriad uses of a towel. Instead, sometime between surviving exams and signing yearbooks and donning ceremonial garb slightly more often than usual, I tried to prepare an inspirational speech to share with you all. Several options were considered, ranging from referring to imaginary PowerPoint slides behind me, presenting my speech in song, to simply lying down, to standing here, staring at you all, for 3.5 minutes in unbroken silence. But I've chosen something more conventional. As valedictorian, I'd like to give a valediction, since graduation is in part a goodbye. We're saying farewell to every tile of those classrooms. Farewell to every catch-22. Farewell to all the scantrons that property tax can buy. A farewell to the teachers, who have taught for us, who have fought for us, and thanks to whom we have fought for ourselves. I've already said a particularly emotional farewell to my favorite courtyard bench, and the ever-inspiring courtyard crow. I also want to say farewell to a misconception. Tradition dictates that I communicate something part encouraging, part nostalgic, part poignant, part ominous, and many parts ambiguous in a single statement like, we are about to leave behind this childhood chapter of our lives and enter the real world. Farewell to that utter nonsense. The real world? Where have I been before? A practice round, or perhaps a holding cell? At what point does my world cease to be a charade? Robert Penn Warren reminds us that whatever you live is life. And what we have lived for the last 18 years is life, is real. Yes, today we graduate. We celebrate, we acknowledge a valid achievement, but we don't suddenly enter some previously inaccessible realm. And yes, in high school our options are limited. We're not financially independent, and we haven't yet become glorious full-time pillars of the workforce, so we're told the future will be different. No more second chances, no more room for error. We'll have to be responsible. And perhaps this idea of an impending real world makes kids more productive, but such a misconception can be dangerous. By attempting to motivate, it creates a perversely passive mindset. The mindset of waiting, stagnantly waiting, for something else to start. But whatever you live is life. Somehow a routine of waiting arises. Waiting for middle school, waiting for high school, waiting for junior year to end so sleep could again be possible. Waiting for graduation, and waiting for the real world. And the waiting paradigm persists if we let it. It's easy to impose dormancy on ourselves, to use time as a scapegoat, to postpone seeking fulfillment to some later era of our lives. But why invalidate ourselves? Regardless of our age, or status, or independence, of how much control we may or may not have over our circumstances, our ability to experience life, to exert our will, is very much real. Whatever we live is life. Don't bother waiting. There's better advice to follow than prepare for the real world. Simple advice, like live, and live well. Don't blink. Keep calm. Follow your bliss. Carry on. And know where your towel is. Whatever advice you choose to follow, keep changing. Keep searching. And keep a brisk pace when all 377 of us walk across the stage so that we can finish before the graduation grandeur wears off and the whole thing starts to seem a bit silly. McIntosh, class of 2012. We did it. Whatever it is. Let's graduate.
As principal of McIntosh High School, I certify to the Superintendent of Schools and the Fayette County Board of Education that these students before you have met all of the requirements as set forth by the State Board of Education and the Fayette County Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to invite our distinguished guest on the podium to come forward for the presentation of diplomas. Family and friends, I present to you the class of 2012.
Michael Tom. Brittany Javon Thomas. Erin Kristen Thomas. Eric Donald Thomason.
Stephanie Simone Thompson. Abigail Jill Todd. Alvin Topali. Stephen Andrew Tripp. Jacob Ryan Turner. Andres Felipe Vallejo. Vicky Teresa Verdieu. Matthew Christopher Verhoeven. Mitchell Thomas Vines. Charles Carson Wagoner. Daniel Evan Wakesness. Zachary James Watson. Logan Lee Webster. Louis Ernest George Weiss III. Alvin Joseph Wenzel. David Michael Wilkinson. Michael Xavier Williams. Kendall Ray Winship.
Michael Philip Wonderland. Sean Austin Wright.
He's just not.
Anna Rain Yates. Nicholas William Yates. Isaac Elias Zabi.
Although most of you have never heard the alma mater, our school song, set to the tune of Till We Meet Again, it is an important source of school pride and a symbol of community. Bobby Chance, one of McIntosh's original faculty, wrote the song in 1980. This song, to this day, commemorates hard work and achievement. Now I'd like to invite all of you to stand and remember the fond times we have had at McIntosh as a Cantabile seniors lead us in singing the alma mater.
Strong and true, and the wells
stand here before you to lead the turning of the tassels and the rings. This is perhaps the most important part of the graduation ceremony. These final steps mark our transition from student to graduate and also show that we are prepared to move on to the next stages of our lives. After tonight, we will all take different paths that will lead us to many different places. As J.R.R. Tolkien once said, "Still round the corner there may wait a new road or a secret gate, and though I oft have passed them by, a day will come at last when I shall take the hidden paths that run west of the moon, east of the sun." Don't take the common route for the rest of your life. Don't take the one that has already been traveled hundreds of times. Find that new, hidden road and be the first to follow it to the end. For those of you with class rings, turn them outward so they face the world and your bright futures. Now, let's all of us move our tassels from the left side of our caps to the right side. That we are prepared to continue moving onward, wherever that may take us. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduates of 2012.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you to Mrs. Key, Miss Mola, Ms. Presley King, Mr. Lombard, and Mr. Peterson for joining me on stage in our celebration of graduation. Thank you to the faculty of McIntosh High School for teaching and inspiring tonight's graduates. Thank you to our junior marshals who assisted in the execution of honors nights, baccalaureate, and tonight's graduation ceremony. And thank you, parents, friends, and guests, for joining us tonight to celebrate the accomplishments of these fine young men and women. Most importantly, thank you to our students for your outstanding educational journey. Tonight highlights your success as you transition from high school to the next phase in your life. Always remember that you made McIntosh Chiefs ask themselves, "Don't you wish you were one too?" Please join us as we listen with the class of 2012 graduates to the selection they have designated as their class song.
So excited.